All right, boys and girls, teachers and students, welcome back to a quick installment of Julian's Random Projects. How quick? Using the cell phone to record and not the full-size YouTuber rig. And also quick enough to make this a tax write-off. So I saw some of these radios. We're not doing an unboxing here, so if you think this is an unboxing, that's not what we're doing. Welcome to the radio bench here at the homestead. We use a lot of two-way radios here, and we've got a couple repeaters set up. The neighborhood uses it to talk when the cell phone towers are down, and the family uses it to, it's like a dinner bell sometimes, or it's a, hey, I'm gonna go walk the dog, talk to you later. We're trying not to like text with each other. We try to use just these simple two-way radios. And the GMRS, FRS stuff, GMRS I guess a little bit better, has worked a treat for us. Now you can go and get your ham license and you can get into stuff that's like, you know, a little bit more rugged. This one's made out of metal. Today we're gonna be talking about a specific radio, which I think is kind of nifty, that just came out of the market. And I wanna show you guys something that I don't think anyone stumbled on because nobody's bothered to order it in that color. So I've had a lot of radios, little handhelds and stuff, and also some rugged stuff for the military. So you can get really expensive stuff with like Bluetooth and lots of different bands and the ability to have digital modes and all that jazz. But if you're out camping or you just want to talk to, you know, your neighbors and stuff and keep everybody on the same page, these cheap Baofengs and Ocean or Wuxian, however you want to pronounce it, all these radios with unpronounceable names, except for maybe the TID radio or the TID radio. This is one of my favorites actually. Once you get it all programmed, it's rugged. I had one that the clip, it slipped out of my pocket and it got rained on, like torrentially rained on all night. And it wasn't later till I was like leaving the property and I just saw it laying there like, kill me. It was completely full of water all inside of here. And this might actually be that same one, I'm not sure. But I just made sure it was off, disconnected the battery, took it completely apart, let it air out, put it all back together, and it's working fine. So this one's a great little radio. I'll leave a link down in the description, same as some of these other radios too, in case you guys are curious. But what this video is about is this cool guy. I've been trying to find ones that are a little bit more fun for the kids and a little bit easier to spot. Once you have, I mean, look back here. Once you've got the cool guy blacked out radios, like it just gets lost in a sea of black and gray and buttons and stuff. So having some of these like really bright colors help you find it in the car or laying in the, you know, in your bag that you're going to the beach in, that kind of a thing. These bright colors is what you want. And these Talkpods, it just come out. There's probably a couple different manufacturers. They're all just changing the sticker, but this is the first one to make it into the market. So let's get this thing. I was really impressed. A lot of these aren't coming with programming cables. They're just telling you that they're programmable and to find like a standard FTDI adapter kind of a thing. You know, we're using like the regular Kenwood connections here where it hijacks your mic and your audio out, your micro audio in and audio out, and then it uses it for transmit and receive of a serial RS-232 connection. So you make up your own cable. You can make your own if you don't have it. Just grab yourself a little FTDI chip from like SparkFun or somebody, and then you have like universal. You just keep swapping out your own little connectors and stuff, and you'll always be good to go. So I like to use these little stubby antennas because the whip ones, the OEM original equipment manufacturer, these guys are often not tuned great. They're just tuned okay at the factory. At some point, they might not even be doing any kind of testing. They're just like, they have a fixture that cuts them to a certain length. So, you know, your mileage may vary on that. And then they got the you know, traditional whip style antenna. But a lot of times around here, you know, on 10 acres or so, you don't need this much range, and so you can go with the stubby bob kind of ones. Any charge? Oh no. All right, let me get this thing charged up or try a different battery, he thinks. Come on, electrons are expensive, people. They don't grow on trees, so I'm not trying to ship these things from the factory. They're not trying to ship these to the factory with a bunch of power. But one of the reasons I've got a couple criteria for these radios now. One, they've got to be full featured and programmable in case I decide to really dumb it down and just give it to somebody with like one channel on it and just tell them, hey, push to talk, you can't screw this up. I'm also only buying radios that have USB-C as a charging option. Oops, USB-C as a charging option, so that when you inevitably lose these cradles, and also these things are a bit of a vampire hog. If you're running on solar like we are here at the house, you don't want dozens of these things sipping a little bit of power 24/7, just being plugged in and waiting for something to dock. So I'm going with all USB-C now, if I can help it, including some of these. Same thing here. USB-C is where it's at for charging and hopefully programming, but I don't think these don't. I don't actually know they don't, because it's got the other cable. These don't program over that. It's just charging over that. But it's the bee's knees. There we go. You know, it'd be awesome if Ryobi came out with a GMRS radio that took their 18-volt batteries. That would be awesome. You'll have to build something like that as another YouTube video and put something up on Thingiverse. But can we plug it with? Yeah, buddy. Look at that. So that's cool. To be able to, like, in your car, have one of these things charging up while the other one's in use and then swap them. So cool. Or to charge up the radio you're using at that time. It's got that Chinglish kind of
10, 11, 12, 13.
Which actually sounds a lot
14,
better than
16, 17, 18.
There we go. We use 18 around here a lot, and then we use 16 for the repeater. So the family, the kids know, neighbors know, like, okay, locally we're talking 18. If you want to get somebody in town or much further away, you switch over to 16 and see if you can get them. Let's get this
19, 18.
Let's get this thing off. And there's a bunch of you guys out there. Sickos. So, why did I order this? One, I wanted to play with it. I think it's a cool color. There's a lot of great reviews. I'll put a link down to some of the other ones. They do a lot better job going through all the menu settings and stuff. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the other color that they have. And everyone kept calling it silver. And, but I think the manufacturer actually calls it crystal. And it became very apparent to me when I saw it that it was transparent. They've not bothered to dope this plastic with any pigment. It is completely transparent, so you can see all of the gubbins and all the inner workings and PCB boards, flex cables, buttons. It's all in there. Now that is very, very cool. I just like different stuff, man. I can't help it. This is I basically ordered it to prove to myself that I had it right. A lot of the other reviewers kept calling this the silver one. So there was like black, this obnoxious green color, which I love, and crystal, and they kept referring to it as silver. Negative. That is transparent as all get. It kind of reminds me of those like early 90s phones that you'd have, like if you're lucky enough to have a landline in your room as a kid, and you had that phone with like the neon light that ran through it. When it rang, it would like light up, and you could see all the circuit board and stuff in there. As a kid, I was a nerd enough at the time that I was annoyed that they painted the circuit board and the components. Like they actually sprayed different discrete components, different colors to like make it look pop. Oh, it's so cool and wild and radical, dude. And I was like annoyed that I couldn't see like the resistor values or the part numbers on some of the things. Yeah, it's moments like that, you're a nerd for sure. So this is the A36 Plus. Again, shill links down in the description. And did we get enough juice? Oh, I guess it does. We have infinite juice if we're hooked up to power. Oh no. Does it not? Can we not charge? Oh, there it goes.
Channel mode.
Yeah. Oh, 你好吗? All right, it's down here in 50. No. Yes. Okay.
Menu.
Yeah, buddy. There we go. All right. Memory serves was... Yeah, do this Vulcan death grip thing here if you want to get into different modes. We're going to do 8 and power on. Expanded. There we go. All right.
Frequency mode.
Yeah, that's where we want. All right. And if you want, I think it's 2 MPTT. Yeah. Okay. Let's try
frequency mode.
5 in PTT. Better. Ow. Ooh. I got bit by the RF. Oh, that takes me back. No watt meter needed, boys. This thing's hot. This is a hot radio. Okay. Let me get the antenna on here. There we go. All right, so we got that on there. Okay. Now it shocked less. It should be 2 and PTT and power on. Yeah, it puts it in that mode. Okay, so wait, this one needs just...
Frequency mode.
Thank you, that's very helpful. So this one just needs to get the latest firmware. I'll do that another time. But so just wanted to share with you guys a cool little radio. Again, transparent, obvious, and USB-C powered. I think it puts out like 5 watts or something close to it. I guess we could RTFM. Yeah, it kind of doesn't matter with these cheap Chinese radios. Like they'll tell you it's 10 watts, doesn't matter. But I saw some tests earlier, people getting really close, if not a little bit over 5 watts. So yeah, right there in the itty bitty writing, 5 watts power out, probably 2 on low power. Yeah, again, if you're just talking around your own neighborhood or your house, like try low power, man. You'll save a ton on battery. There you go. The Talkpod A36 Plus. If you guys want to see some more follow-up videos with some of the radios and things that we're doing here, be sure to subscribe to Julian's Random Projects. Thanks. Bonus footage at the end. What do you think, Brown Dog? You guys saw me messing around with the batteries. We thought one of them was not charged, and I put it on the charger like overnight. And I noticed that when this one with the clip is the good one, when it was charging, the little LED was just a solid green light indicating that it was charging. The other one was like flashing at me, like flash, 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 flash. And I thought, oh, maybe it's like really dead and it's just kind of giving it a pulse thing when I plugged it in. When I came in this morning, it's still doing that. So probed around, I got 0 volts on some of these rails. Sometimes these will be a little bit smart and you can't backfeed power into these depending on the type of protection circuit they have. But these connectors are explicitly designed so that when you drop them into a cradle, there's little contacts that slide up against them and charge. So it is expecting to get voltage applied here, so you have to figure out which one is which. Probed those, and I didn't see anything on the line with the multimeter. Now, sometimes that means that the protection circuit has gone off, and so it's disconnected these, and they would need to see forward voltage. So you get 0 volts, but if you just applied 7 volts even for a second, it would come back to life and you'd be able to reconnect to the battery. So I got my trusty power supply, put the probes on, and manually connected, probed it up, and nothing. The power supply doesn't draw any current, meaning it's not connected to the battery, or it's super dead. Actually, if it's super dead, it probably still pulls some current. I'm getting no reading. So let us pop this open. I don't want you guys doing this with your battery packs. This thing took like almost a month to get here. So I'm not trying to do a return on the battery. I'll just as soon fix it or buy a second one of these to replace it. Stuff's so cheap. So you want to be mindful when you're popping these things off, because one slip of the screwdriver and you can puncture these pouch cells really easy. They're just thin aluminum foil that's holding it all together. And so you go, jamming it in, you'll create a short. It'll they call it thermal runaway. You will have a very quick discharge at that short. I can do it. I'm a professional homeowner, so don't worry about it. All right, right away I can tell what's wrong. Did you guys see it over there? Is it jumping out at you? I was looking around to see where am I going to probe to measure battery voltage. I notice there's 2 cells, so it's they're double stacking 4 volts to make 8 volts. And right there. Pew. Quality control this actually might have passed quality control. It could have been hanging on by a thread, just ever so gently touching it, and then in shipping, FedEx plane or slow boat, it wiggled itself loose. It wasn't on there good to begin with. So this is what's called a factory escape. This problem escaped out of the factory. There's your USB charger. Pretty decent little... Oh, I know someone's going to ask me what the actual chip is. 5080E. Sure. That old chestnut. I'm not going to look these up. This is all just jelly bean parts. 8205. But there's quite a bit of support circuitry in here. This is not just a glob or a really cheap thing. So I'm gonna go resolder that and see if we can get this thing to come back to life. We got the actual cable that came with the radio. It's a little bit longer than what I had. There we go. Now it's red. Before it was blinking. I think we are good to go. Oh yeah, we are back in business.